Hello, folks. This is the answers to the quiz number 1. So, without further ado, these were all worth 1 point. I don't think there was any split points at all. Question 1, I asked you which was the odd one out of Rough, Sanderling, Widgeon, and Essex Skipper. The answer there would be Essex Skipper. Rough, Sanderling, and Widgeon are all water birds. Two of them are waders, one's kind of a duck. But they're all water birds, whereas the Essex Skipper is something very different. Question 2. I asked you which was the odd one out of Red, Holly Blue, Muntjac, and Sika. Muntjac, Red, and Sika are all types of deer. The red is native to the British Isles. The Sika and the Muntjac, I believe, were introduced species, but they are all now considered native to the UK, to Great Britain. So the odd one out there, the correct answer was Holly Blue, which is very definitely something else. Question 3. Barbastelle, Noctule, Purple Emperor, Soprano, Pipistrelle. The odd one out there, fairly obviously I think, is Purple Emperor. Again, it's very definitely not a bat. The other 3, Noctule, Pipistrelle, and Barbastelle, are all kinds of bat. Question 5. Question 4. Missed it out. Question 4. I gave you Barbel, Green-veined White, Gwyniad, and Burbot. The correct answer there is green-veined white. It is very definitely something else. The other 3 are all freshwater fish found in the British Isles. And then I asked you for question 5, what were all the odd ones out? So that would be Essex Skipper, Holly Blue, Purple Emperor, and green-veined white. They're all butterflies, again native to the British Isles. 1 point for each of those, so maximum of 5 points so far. Round 2, I asked you which one came first. So question 6 was the last moon landing, or Paul McCartney announcing that he was leaving the Beatles. It was Paul McCartney leaving the Beatles. That happened in April of 1970, whereas the last moon landing was in 1972. Question 7, I asked you which came first, the start of World War I or the official discovery of Pluto. That would be World War I. World War I started in 1914. Pluto was officially discovered in 1930. There were images taken of Pluto prior to its official discovery, and indeed they'd been looking for it for a very long time. Percy Lovell, in particular, had been looking for it for a very long time, and they'd calculated where they thought it was going to be. But the first point where they were actually able to take a photo and say, look, that is Pluto, we're calling it Pluto, was 1930. All the images before then, they didn't know what they were looking at. Question 8. Queen Victoria ascends the throne or Napoleon dies? Well, Queen Victoria ascended the throne in 1837, whereas Napoleon died in 1821. So the correct answer there was Napoleon. Question 4. The Magna Carta being signed or the Gutenberg printing press. So almost 200 years between these two. The Magna Carta was signed in June of 1215. Whereas the printing press wasn't completed by Gutenberg till 1440. So the correct answer there was Magna Carta. And lastly, Tutankhamun's death and the completion of the Great Pyramid at Giza. Tutankhamun is thought to have died around 1325 BC, whereas the Great Pyramid was completed in 2560 BC, so almost 1,000 years earlier. In fact, over 1,000 years earlier. Is that right? Yes, over 1,000 years earlier. So, yeah, the correct answer there is the pyramid. That happened very much earlier than Tutankhamun. So, should be 10 points so far, or out of 10 points so far. Your villainesses. I asked you where we would meet Cara Boss. She's in the ballet version, the Tchaikovsky ballet version of Sleeping Beauty. So, Sleeping Beauty was the correct answer. Any other details are always jolly, but Sleeping Beauty was all you needed for the point. Marquise de Merteuil is from Les Liaisons Dangereuses, the play, also the film, play first, and I believe there is a novel as well that it is based on, but I can't remember whether that's actually called Les Liaisons Dangereuses or whether it's called something else. Should have done my research. Question 13, I asked you where we would meet Katerina Ismailova. This is an opera one, sorry, that's my Facebook pinging. Katerina Ismailova, we would meet in the opera Lady Macbeth of Murtensk. Question 14, I like this one. Grimhilda is the proper name of the Wicked Queen in Snow White, in Disney's Snow White. She's never named on the screen. But that was very definitely her name. There were lots of other scenes. I was reading up on this. There were lots of scenes where she was going to be accompanied by panthers, and she was going to feed people to panthers, and she was going to make skeletons dance on the wall in a torture chamber. All kinds of weird stuff that they elbowed in the making of the film. But yes, Grimhilda, the Wicked Queen. So from Snow White, that's question 14. Question 15, Dolores Umbridge. Now, she's in lots of the Harry Potter films, at least 3 or 4 of them. The first one, however, where she makes her appearance is the Order of the Phoenix. I look forward to someone pointing out that she's actually in a background scene earlier on. Wait and see. Last questions were the uncommon names. I asked you, what was a bombershoot? Bombershoot. It's just another name for an umbrella. It features in Me Old Bamboo in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, for those of you who want a reference. But yeah, Bumbershoot is a name for an umbrella, an alternative name. 17, an agraph. Now, I had the definition of this as the little cage that sits on the top of a champagne cork, holding it in place. So if you put that, that's right. I've since discovered it's also a part of a piano. So if you put part of a piano, you can have a point as well. Petrichor, for question 18, is the smell of the air after a rainstorm. So it's the smell after the rain has hit soil or hot stone, and there's that lovely sort of fresh smell in the air. It's actually fungal spores, I'm reliably informed, so makes it slightly less romantic. But nonetheless, that is what petrichor is. So if you put anything along those lines, you get a point. Question 19. A tittle is the dot on the top of a letter J or a letter I in the English script. I'm guessing it might or might not apply to other scripts. But yeah, a tittle, the dot on an I or a J. And lastly, question 20. The overmorrow is the day after tomorrow. So, there we are. I hope you like the quiz. I hope you get some joy out of it. I've had fun making it. I'm going to try and put a couple more up on YouTube if I can make this one work. And yeah, enjoy. Leave me a comment. Be nice. Thank you. Bye.